In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the project scope of work and construction drawings for the Federal Reserve Board building project currently under the course of construction in Washington, D.C. Before I dive deep into the drawings, into the details of this project, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. By liking this video, it will boost this video up in YouTube's algorithm and will allow more people to review this project and this project scope of work. By subscribing to my channel, it really helps support me. I have a goal of trying to become monetized on YouTube. Hitting 1,000 subscribers would be just amazing and would support my channel and would allow me to create more videos like this one and maybe continue reporting on this project. Let's get into the project details of the Federal Reserve Board building project. My understanding of the scope of work based on the information I have is the following. The project consists of major renovations of two buildings next to each other, the Eccles Building and the Federal Reserve Board East Building. The Eccles Building is an existing gross square footage of 276,000 square feet. It's unclear exactly how much square footage is being added based on the information I have. I know that it does involve two 5-level above grade infill additions on the east and west side of the building. Each are 55,000 gross square feet that will be added to the building for a total of 110,000 gross square feet that will be added to the building. Another scope item of this project is a level 4 addition on top of the existing level 4 offices, so an add a level here. The east courtyard and the west courtyard are going to both be converted into atria. The east courtyard will serve as staff and VIP Eccles entrance. The west courtyard will serve as an employee interior garden and flex event space. The Federal Reserve Board East Building, now let's talk about that renovation scope. The existing building area is 126,000 gross square feet. The estimated gross total added square footage will be an added 508,000 square feet. The project will consist of a 5-level above grade addition to the north side of the building, 3-level below grade addition to add parking space, new tunnel to be constructed between the Eccles Building and the Federal Reserve Board East Building. The infill center will create a courtyard, which will be an estimated 154,556 gross square feet and a marble facade everywhere. What I will be reviewing today is the project submission to the National Capital Planning Commission. This is public information, so for disclosure, these are not true construction drawings. These are not signed and sealed plans. What I am reviewing was submitted final submission to the National Capital Planning Commission, which was approved. So it does give us a high level, really good, strong indication of the scope of this project. We'll also be talking about other things regarding this project, but let's get into it. For this project, there were 3 major submissions, one in 2019, 2020, and 2021. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the submission materials from September 2021, in which they were seeking final approval of final site and building plans. And here it is, the final review presentation for this project. Before we get into the plans, I wanted to just take a look at the Federal Reserve's website regarding this project. I'm recording this video on July 22nd, 2025, and yesterday they added a video tour of the renovation of the 2 historic buildings. But I just wanted to point out and show attention to this. This is the project page on their website. What are the goals of this project? The Federal Reserve takes seriously the responsibility to be a good steward of public resources. This project will reduce costs over time, needs a complete overhaul and modernization that has not been comprehensively renovated since its construction in 1930s, and includes remediation and remediation is a strong word, by the way, but remediation and updates to make the building safe, healthy, and effective places to work by removing asbestos, lead contamination, and accommodating a modern workplace technology. The complete replacement of antiquated systems such as electrical, plumbing, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC, fire detection, and fire suppression systems. That is serious. Buildings without fire suppression systems, sprinkler systems, and fire detection, fire alarm is a big deal. It's also a big deal when systems are antiquated and not up to current code, these major mechanical systems, electrical, plumbing, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. I would love to see a permit log of this project because I just wonder, and I feel like it should be verified, if the major mechanical systems have in fact ever been replaced or not since 1930s, because there is reference to some renovations over time that have happened. And then this one, major structural work, that is very serious. Major structural work to bring the buildings up to modern code, including current accessibility, security, and safety standards. The work will also restore and enhance space for the public along the National Mall. These 3 bullet points about the project goals for this project are serious. These 3 bullet points suggest 100% necessary, almost suggests emergency work. It doesn't not say emergency work, but major structural work being required. The way that these 3 bullets, if the Federal Reserve is saying these are the 3 project goals of this project, it gives the impression that it is to remove hazards, to remediate and repair hazards that are emergent. It suggests that this project is absolutely 100% unequivocally required for the life safety of this building, of the people that are working in this building. These 3 project goals suggest that it is absolutely, completely mandatory, necessary. So I'm not doubting that these conditions exist. They very well may exist, but now we're going to take a look and head over to the plans that are provided on the final approval submission material presentation, to see how the project goals on the Federal Reserve's website stacks up to the plans. And actually, before we get into the plans, I want to just show this video. They're leading with major structural work, antiquated building systems, and then we're just going to look at the plans and review the scope to see how it compares. And I do like the historic preservation aspect there. This part, reopen historic skylight, consistent with historical preservation guidelines. Like, I like that aspect a lot. Historic preservation, though, is more costly, but I like that. Protect and retain original boardroom murals from 1937. I think that's so cool. So how could anyone argue with this? Remove additional asbestos caulk, removable blast windows. And the way they have their video positioned too, asbestos abatement. How could anyone argue these repairs? And to an average person, to someone who may not know construction, you wouldn't really see anything wrong with this, right? And you would think, of course, those are necessary, absolutely necessary repairs. How could anyone argue with that? But let's just go look at this. Let's get a feel for the scope of work of the project. So now we're going to dive into the construction drawings, the design, the details of this project in their final approval request presentation. From my understanding of the project, it is a renovation and expansion of 2 buildings next to each other, currently separated by the street, 20th Street Northwest. And again, I'm working with the information that I have. Project objectives, the basis for the expansion aspect of it is to reduce off-site leases and consolidate 1,750 staff on site. Sounds like a good thing. I believe that they want to create a new tunnel to flow, pedestrian flow between both buildings, which I agree and think that is useful. I've seen it before in New Jersey, New York, commercial office spaces between buildings, and it's just easier with especially for security. It's just easier once you're already like secured and have access into a building to be able to flow between them. That makes sense to me. So they provided different options here. They say option B is preferred. Existing conditions. It looks fine from the outside. It looks good here. It looks fine. That looks like a beautiful building. It looks fine to me. Existing conditions of the exterior of the building and proposed project. I know these are just exterior here, but I don't see anything wrong with the exterior here, the existing conditions. Beautiful renderings. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a really beautiful project. The Eccles Building. Here's the Eccles Building atrium interior dusk view. They're showing a detail of restored skylights here. This is just beautiful. Really beautiful building. Beautiful finishes here. The Eccles Building on the right, Eccles Building level 2 historic corridor perspective, and then on the left, perspective view of Eccles Building level 4 lounge. Like, this definitely is a complete overhaul, modern contemporary-esque renovation. Windows. The existing operable aluminum windows will be replaced with high-performance blast-resistant fixed aluminum window units. Approximately 508,150 gross square feet will be added to the Federal Reserve Building East Building. This is in regard to the 5-story addition. The addition will expand 3 levels below grade underneath the addition footprint and infill the created courtyard area between the existing building east and west wings for another 406,000 gross square feet of area. So a total of 508,000 gross square feet. The 5-story addition above grade is 158,000 square feet. 3 levels below grade under the addition footprint infill. It really is a full comprehensive renovation. And I mean, look at just how beautiful it is. This is the atrium level, C2 looking east. This looks like marble walls everywhere. It looks like marble everywhere. That's really expensive. These are renderings, but if I had a full set of drawings with finished details, I could be more specific, but this does obviously appear like stone and or marble, which we will see marble is used quite a bit further into this presentation. So I'm just going off that. So here are the plans. You know what they missed? You know what they missed here on this project, though? They should have installed a pool. That's like, it has everything else that would have been on brand with the rest of this project. I'm surprised that there's not hot tubs, cold plunges here on the vegetative roof terrace. We have here on this floor conference room, atrium, dining, kitchen, building management service corridor, a bike room, fitness. Look at this marble. Look at this Georgia white marble everywhere, cladded. Like it looks like the entire exterior is going to be marble city. It's going to be a lot of marble used. If I'm not mistaken, that is the most expensive possible finish that could be used. I also saw it. I'm assuming that that is marble. Again, I don't have confirmation of that, but I am just assuming that with the amount of marble that is called out in these drawings, that anywhere I see stone could be marble. There's also granite, a lot of granite used. So yeah, so this is calling out the facade will be stone, marble, polished and honed white Georgia. Now, these landscape plans are fun, and the landscape budget for this project must be just one of the biggest budget line items for this project, because they're very, very comprehensive, and a lot of money is being poured into put into the landscape budget for this project. This project has a very big landscape budget. So here's the existing conditions, and they pose it by saying existing security measures and deterrence. This one I think is funny. Federal Reserve Building, East 20th Street Northwest, with no street trees or planting at curb. Like, sad. Sloped planting area at historic terrace along 19th Street Northwest. A concern that they have, that they want to address through their landscape design, is higher security. So perimeter security. The existing bronze-clad perimeter security system around the Eccles Building will be replaced by a cable rail system similar to the one installed at the Department of Commerce. So they want to increase the site perimeter security here. This is the site security diagram. They're adding a lot of security. This is part of the landscape plan that shows the finishes in more detail. You see this big area here, new granite paving. Granite paving here. Granite water feature with arching nozzles from. I did see, and then more granite paving here, granite curb, reset existing granite. I did see in a document, I don't know if it went through to the approval with the approved plans, that they are going to try to repurpose existing granite. I believe that was in the original initial submission, but this right here where you see it says new granite paving, that's a huge amount of granite that is being planned to be installed here. And I also did see that there is existing fountains, and I did see that there are existing fountains. I saw maybe one. There could be more, and I don't know if this is new or not, but granite water feature, we're gonna get into it and see these feature walls. It is expensive. This is just really expensive right here, what we're looking at. The new granite paving, the granite water feature with arching nozzles. I'm going to assume that that is. Yeah, like, look at all these garden terrace water features. These are large cost drivers to the project. Look at this. Entrance, plaza, water feature wall. Again, I have not seen this project budget. I would love to see the project budget for this project. I would estimate that these water feature walls, says here, historic precedent for water spouts in wall. This is a huge cost driver of the project. Next to the water feature walls, we have the vegetated roofs. They have vegetated roof assembly plans. So much money has already been spent on the design phase of this project, on design, on engineers on this project already. This is a building section. So we see the parking here. That's cool. Jerome Powell, Chair of the Federal Reserve. Exterior lighting, energy and sustainability, passive and active design strategies, climate change, resilience. Be prepared to address the current and future risks associated with climate change. So this renovation will increase the preparedness of the Federal Reserve Building to address the current and future risks associated with climate change, henceforth why this renovation is necessary. So when you're looking at the project plans, and then when we go back to the Federal Reserve website, the 3 project objectives about remediation, removing asbestos and lead contamination, accommodating modern workplace technology. The remediation, first word at the gate, number 1 bullet point, number 1 word, remediation, suggests that they are leading with, that the main project intent here is remediation, to remove asbestos and lead contamination, to make these buildings safe, healthy, effective places to work. Number 1. Number 2, replacement of the antiquated building systems, MEPs, mechanicals, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning, fire detection and suppression systems. If that was the case, I didn't see any MEP drawings. We saw some landscape. So regarding electrical, yes, we did see some landscape plans in here, but I didn't see, if there's such a strong emphasis on this bullet point number 2 of the complete replacement of the antiquated systems, I was expecting more in this presentation for there to be explanation of the replacement of these antiquated systems. Electrical, what is the current electrical system, and wouldn't there be more emphasis on the revised electrical plans? Plumbing, what are the plumbing existing conditions, and how is it going to be rehauled, the entire system replacement, plumbing replacement through this? I did not see that in these plans. I also did not see HVAC system replacement, fire detection and suppression system installation. I did not see any information at all about that here in the plans. When I Control F, when I search in this PDF, fire alarm or fire suppression could come up, 2 different trades. What comes up is the star glazing centric campfire orange, a finish color for the exterior lighting, 3 times. And oh, here's something about fire. In order to address life safety concerns, wall and fire doors have been installed at certain locations. The main stair hall enclosed with a solid wall, reconfigured with additional fire stairs. So that is something that pertains to, and here is more that pertains to what we were just talking about. The fire rated glazing will replace, so there will be fire rated glazing at the windows to replace the single glazing. So yeah, I agree with that function. Stargazing centric dimmed campfire orange, 2200K. Astronomical twilight and later hours. A fire hydrant, that's good. And then the major structural work to bring the buildings up to modern code, including current accessibility, security, and safety standards. But particularly the structural work, I did not see in this presentation, like, I was expecting to see more callouts of the so based on this third project objective, keywords major structural work, I am in my head, I visualize and I am thinking that this building is structurally unsound and that it is structurally compromised and is a major hazard. But with regards to that, I didn't see too much about that. I expect, based on this point, the major structural work that is required, I expect to see pictures and explanations of the structural hazards and the structurally compromised parts of the building that are in disrepair and need repair. I did not see that. It says there's only 5 mentions of the word structural. One of them is how the large format glazing panels will be supported by a simple gridded framing that responds to the structural rhythm of the existing building. But they don't really go into like the structural hazards that their website says exists. There are structurally upgraded roofs. Of course, it's going to be new. Extended soil area, structural. It just shows the detail about the structural soil that will be installed in the landscape plans here. But yeah, high level. But yeah, so high level, the project plans, the submission presentation, stacking up to the alleged project goals that is being led about why it is so necessary, this project, don't really stack up and don't really stack up. So just calling a spade on the Federal Reserve website, the goals of the project here just do not. The project goals and this being the intent for the project is not the submission presentation does not really, to put it simply, the submission presentation, these drawings and plans that we went through for the final approval do not really, in my opinion, reflect the 3 major project goals listed on the Federal Reserve's website. So definitely a difference there. There are numerous ways that the design could have been honed down quite a bit when this project was being designed to get this project a little bit on the less expensive side, on the lower budget end. For example, an obvious one is the new granite paving could have been cement. Currently, it looks like it is paver tiles, checkered. That suffices. Pavers, concrete, cement, same thing, as opposed to new granite paving is a huge cost driver here. The exterior being cladded with marble, really fine marble, is extremely expensive and is another huge cost driver of the project. The windows and glass is a large cost driver. The scope at large of a 5-story addition and the 3 or 4-story underlevel car parking area is a major cost driver of the project. The I mean, these are luxury, luxury, luxury finishes. You know, look at this light fixture here, and just the caliber of the plans that are being shown here. And it's no doubt that this is a extremely, extremely beautiful design and project that is planned here. Yeah, and it looks like a $2.5 billion project. But the thing is that the country at large, this building was built in 1930s. My house was built in 1917. Tons of Americans' homes were also built in the early 1900s and are in disrepair and are in need of major renovation. And it's just kind of like not on brand with what the American people are currently experiencing with rising construction costs and with the ability to, you know, do construction, particularly the younger generation who are trying to buy homes. And for example, here in New Jersey, like a shit box, $500K, built in the early 1900s, you're paying it's a tear down, and the cost to renovate is just crazy. So when the average American person is kind of struggling, interest rates are high, the cost to borrow to do a construction loan, like hardly any construction is happening in the rest of the country, but it just looks like this project is really well funded and is full steam ahead, where on the contrary, in America, projects have been, at large, on a macro level, construction projects have been halted. The construction industry in general is not thriving in America. A lot of that has to do with commercial real estate, construction loans, the cost to borrow, interest rates being high, deals are not penciling. It does not make sense to do a lot of these deals. The construction industry provides so much employment and is a large contributor to the GDP. So it's just like, I don't know, you see this project going full steam ahead, unlimited budget, money's no object to this project, unlimited budget, highest of the high finishes, whereas everywhere else in the country, if you are not the Federal Reserve itself, I don't know, it's just not, this project and the budget, the course of construction, you know, happening and not being impacted by how bad the economy is due to, partly, in my opinion, interest rates being so high, affecting so many things and so many people's lives. It just doesn't align with what America, American citizens, and the fabric of American landscape is experiencing. I would like to create more videos dissecting and looking at this project. Thanks for watching this video. If you've not already, subscribe to my channel, like this video to boost it up in the algorithm so more people can see the scope of work of the Federal Reserve building project. Drop a comment if you would like, what you liked about this video and what you think of the project. Until next time, thanks for watching.